Well, I was messing around the gun safe and I thought, I wonder what the relative humidity is in the gun safe. Not that it was real high. This is Arizona, but I put a relative humidity meter in the gun safe and I'm running about 33% in the gun safe. That's not real high, but I thought, August comes, we'll have a higher humidity. Anyway, it might be nice to throw something in there, just drop it a little bit. It says Arizona, you don't have to drop it very much. So I looked on Amazon and I seen an advertisement for these rechargeable Ivation, that's the name brand, dehumidifiers. They're rechargeable ones. They have the Desiccant pellets in them. And the nice thing about these is you plug them in and it'll recharge them. You don't have to put it in the oven. These will do it themselves. Plug it in, let it sit, it gets warm and clears itself. The problem is I put it in the gun safe and took a measurement, put it in the gun safe, left it in there 24 hours and nothing happened. So I thought, well, maybe that's not long enough. So I left it in there 5 days. After 5 days, I want you to see the results. But basically, it did nothing. It did not change the humidity in the gun safe. Okay, let's check the safe now. The relative humidity was 33%. And actually, I don't know if you can see it, this says 34% now. I'm sure it didn't add to it, but it's not doing anything. And here's the unit that was in the safe. And I don't know if you can see it, but the crystals are blue, which means they're dry. This thing is not working. I don't know how, but it's not working. Just so you know, I've worked in engineering most of my life, and I'm not real happy with the results that we just seen, but really what we need to do is a controlled performance test under the most controlled conditions that I can come up with to take out any unknown elements that we may not be aware of. So here's the test. The dehumidifiers in a controlled environment again as close as I can get in the garage. I have 2 paper towels. Inside this cooler I got 2 cups. I don't know if you can see these. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to put wet paper towels inside of here, get a relative humidity reading, then we'll put the dehumidifiers in and see if we get a change. For our little controlled test here, I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of water. This scoop right here is a 2 tablespoon scoop. So I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of water on my paper towels. Okay, I'm just going to tuck that in there and I'll put the rest on the other paper towel. So we have you might say a controlled humidity. Now I would think if those things can't suck up 2 tablespoons of water, then some of the writings and reviews on it to say, oh, this dried my bathroom, it's just bullshit. Okay, I went away from using an electronic meter that I used last time and went to what we might call a manual or mechanical meter. This read about 15% in the house. Right now it's up to about 24%. It rained here last night, so it should be a little more humid in the garage. And we'll see what happens. It's not that the electronic one's bad, it's just I'm in electronics and I don't trust the stuff, so, that's a joke. Anyway, this here, it's probably going to be a little bit better to use inside of this environment. Okay, so here's how we ended up. There's the cooler, there's the humidity gauge, and wow, it's It's climbing. It's already at almost 28%, just being inside of here. So we're going to shut the lid, let this sit for about, I don't know, maybe 12 hours. And then we'll put the dehumidifier in here and see if it can actually reduce the humidity. The paper towels are just a little bit moist, so they should be giving off good humidity in there. So we'll continue this in 12 hours. Okay, it's been about 12 hours, and we'll see what it looks like inside. Okay, inside the cooler, it's about 75% humidity. I can see it falling just with the lid open. Now it's down to 70%. So this should be pretty good. I'm going to take this unit, and it's all real dark purple, the indicator, which means it is dry. And I'm going to put it inside. And tomorrow we'll come out and we'll see. Hopefully that thing will be reading down, maybe 20% or something if the thing really works. If it doesn't, well, we'll find out. Well, at 24 hours, the humidity was 75%. Wasn't too happy, so I let it go another 24. It's just 48 hours. Let's see what happens. And the humidity is 72%. You can see that. Yep, 72%. So there's virtually no change. My crystals actually look like they got a little pink. The paper towels are still wet. I'm not real happy with this. Okay, this is 4 days in. Let's see what it's doing. 4 days in, and this thing's sitting at about 72% humidity. Little beads are purple. Well, I don't know. Let's look at it now. Let's give it a little chance here. They're a little violet, which means it's kind of wet. The paper towels are still a little damp, so it has not sucked up 2 teaspoons of water. Hey, I'm going to try something. I'm going to swap this one out for the other one, the one that's not, that hasn't been exposed to the moisture. It's still dark blue, and let's see if the other one can dry it. Okay, so this is day 5 with the other dehumidifier element thing in there. And geez, our humidity is down to 60%. That's not very good. 60%. I don't get it. Oh well. We'll let it go another day. Okay, this is day 6. 2 tablespoons of water. Had to put the second dehumidifier in there to see what happened, but that's pretty disappointing so far. So let's see what happens here. Okay, here we go. And the humidity is actually down. It's actually down below 10% finally. But this is the second dehumidifier in this cooler, and this is under 1 cubic feet. So I think this would be pretty disappointing if you tried to use this most places in the United States inside your gun cabinet. Very, very disappointing results. So with all this playing around with the dehumidifiers, I guess the important thing is, what did we learn from all of this? Number one thing, what we learned, and what you should do, is get 2 little humidity meters. I would recommend just manual ones. Don't get anything electronics. It takes batteries. These go in like a terrarium or something like that, or for pets or something.
but you can get these on Amazon or eBay or anywhere you want for a couple bucks. Get 2 of them. Make sure side by side they both read the same all the time. Put one inside your safe and one outside your safe. So you know what the outside environment is, you know what the inside environment is. That's my number one recommendation. You have to know what's going on. Okay, in Arizona, this might not apply to everywhere else, but I have these little range bags I keep my pistols in, and this is just an example. And when I come home from the range, I store these inside the gun safe side by side so nothing gets scratched. But a consideration is if it rained out or something like that, and these got just a little bit wet, let's say a teaspoon or so across a couple of these, and I put these inside of my safe, these would feel relatively dry. If I put these in my safe, it's going to change the environment in the safe. It's going to raise the humidity. So as we've seen by these tests, it doesn't take very much to raise the humidity, and it's pretty hard getting the humidity out. So if you have anything like this, cloth or anything you stick inside of your safe, make sure it's really, really dry before you put it in there. In Arizona, it's probably okay. Other places of the country, you might not want to do it at all. If the humidity outside's 90%, this bag's going to be at 90%. You stick it in your safe. It's going to take a little bit to pull the humidity out of your safe. Okay, everything that you hear, put this in your safe, put this in your safe, make sure you test it. That's why I say get these little meters or something. Test what's going on. Don't assume anything. My past experience with Desiccant has been really good. One time we were camping and I had wet socks, wet underwear, and I'm thinking, God, it's hot out, this stuff's going to get moldy or something. And in my emergency kit I had some Desiccant packs. They were just little brown packs. And they were sealed, and I opened them up, and they were like little brown paper bags, and I stuck them inside of my underwear and socks. And the next day when I went in that bag, the underwear and socks were so dry they were crunchy. So that Desiccant actually worked. I don't understand why these don't work equally as well. In fact, they look so much better, you would think that these things here would really work. But they don't, and they do work, but not to the degree that I expected. So don't think you can buy something like this, throw it in your safe, and you're going to be okay. You need to check it. Check it with the meter. Make sure it's really doing what it's supposed to do. Actually, these have been in the safe here for about a couple of weeks now, and they're actually turning a little bit purple. And the humidity in the safe is actually down to about 15% now. So these are slowly working, but not as I'd expect. This is Arizona though, so a lot of manufacturers make one similar to this with different plugs. Some of them got plugs that fold out. Some of them are made by gun companies and safe companies and everyone. But if it's got this kind of a meter on the front, it probably comes out of the same factory in China. So who knows what the quality of Desiccant is. Test it. Be sure, because you can have an expensive investment and you don't want to lose it assuming something. Looking at some of the other catalogs, I see these things called golden rods and dehumidifier rods, and someone else, I know they have a light bulb inside their safe because if you keep it hotter, it's drier. Okay, just so you know, this really isn't true. If you raise the temperature in the safe, the air can hold more moisture, which is good. It keeps it off the guns. It's suspended in the air. But if you ever have a power outage and the humidity in your safe is real high, it could rain in your safe. It's just kind of like in the morning when you get up and there's dew on everything. That's because the temperature dropped, the air cooled and couldn't hold the humidity, so it deposited it. This is what you want to avoid in your safe, is having that deposited. It's good. I would think the heat would be good to keep it suspended, but you really need to get the humidity out there. You really need Desiccant or some other method to remove the humidity from the safe. Okay, I don't know what else to tell you. This kind of concludes this. But these kind of work, but I'm in Arizona. You can try another brand, but like I said, test it. Make sure you know the results. Don't assume. Shoot safe, shoot straight. Bye. Hey, for anybody who gives a crap, just so you know, I'm disabled again, and it'll be probably October before I can walk again. So anyway, maybe a little time before you get another movie, or I'll see what I can do here at home. Bye.